All right, let's see. It is preparing the live stream. Not sure if we're live yet. Okay. It says we're live. Let's just double check it real quick. All right, it looks like the live streaming is working beautifully. Awesome. So if you're seeing us live, we're going to get started with the presentation. I've got a new presentation for you guys today. I think you are really going to love it. It's got a lot of really excellent information in it for you. And so hang tight. We're going to get started in just a few minutes here. I just want to give people time to jump onto the live stream. And, while we're doing the presentation, I'm so happy to have you join live. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the link for the live right here. If you'd like to jump on, give me just a second and I will grab that for you. Okay. Give me just a second. And once you jump on, please feel free to give me little hearts or, whatever, little smiley faces. So I know that you're here. And I'm just going to grab the Zoom link. Just one second. And I'm also admitting I'm doing that. So there we go. So hang tight while you're joining. I'm just making sure that I get the Zoom link for everyone who's on the live right now. And let me get back over there. Okay. And I see Stephanie here. Stephanie. And I see Amanda here. Hi, Amanda.
Hello.
Hi. I'm just putting in, welcome. I'm just putting in the Zoom link for everyone, and then we're going to get started with the presentation in just a couple of minutes, okay?
Okay.
All right. There we go. Got it. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to jump on back over to the Zoom, and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so that I can get started with the presentation in just a minute. Bear with me. There we go. There you go. So if y'all can see this big pink pretty picture on my screen, can you let me know? Can you give me a thumbs up or a nod or something? You got it? You can see it?
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Thank you. And then if I do that, does it change to it's my passionate mission?
It did for me.
Yay. That's what I want to check. All righty. All right. So just so everybody knows, while you're hopping onto the live, I can't see your messages while I'm doing the presentation, but as soon as I'm done giving the presentation, then I can see all your messages and questions. It's just too hard for me to talk and monitor at the same time, and it's just me here by myself today. So just wanted to let you know that, but please feel free to put your questions into the chat, because when I'm done with the presentation, I definitely want to come back and answer them for you. And it would also be awesome if when I'm giving the presentation, if you hold your questions until the end, just like a normal scientific presentation, hold your questions till the end, and that way I can answer them all together for everybody together. And go ahead and use your good Zoom etiquette. Go ahead and mute yourselves while we're giving the presentation. And that way, if there's kids, crying or dogs barking in the background, we won't have interruptions. Okay? All right. All right, then. And don't mind all the beeps you guys are probably going to hear, like little beeps as people jump on, because typically people will start jumping on here. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. And I'm really, really happy for all those people who are going to be watching live. Thank you so much for being here. It shows that you really do care about your health. And so I'm happy to be here. I'm very blessed to be here, to be teaching you all about the latest science today. And so this presentation is all about learning how not to be controlled by your symptoms anymore. And we talk about brain fog and fatigue and pain, but oh my goodness, we all know that there's a lot more, crazy symptoms out there that you suffer from. And so we're going to be teaching you how to control all of those today. And so, as I said, it's my most passionate mission. This is what God created me to do. And I absolutely know that for a fact. And I am here to help you achieve your optimal health and teach you the truth about the science that's out there, so you don't have to continue suffering. And my bottom line is that I know that I can help you, right? With the latest science that we have today, we help thousands of people, right? So we know that we can help you, right? And if on that off chance that maybe there is something so crazy going on with you that that we think we can't help you, that's very rare. But we have partners with thousands of other doctors and scientists and nurse practitioners, and we can put our heads together and we can help you as best as we possibly can. Okay, so I want you to have hope today. You're going to learn the newest scientific discoveries and how to get that powerful memory and cognition that you want. You're going to learn, hold on just a second, I just need to hide something there on my screen because it was getting in the way. You're going to learn how to have that rock star energy that you used to have and that you have probably lost, and you want to get that back again. And most of all, I'm going to be teaching you about the science of longevity, how to turn on those anti-aging genes, crush your symptoms. And actually, I know this is going to sound crazy, but it is quite possible to actually reverse your physical age. And we're going to be talking about that today. Okay. All right. And at the end today, I want to give you a free bonus. If you stick around to the end, you're going to get my transformation cheat sheet. Okay. I'm also going to give you an opportunity to grab my new book at the end at a really special price, the deal that the publisher is giving. And so if you don't know who I am, I'm affectionately known around the internet as the autoimmune geek. My name is Dory. Please call me Dory. I am actually a research immunotoxicologist, which is just a big, long Scrabble word that means someone who studies the effects of toxins on your immune system. And I am a trained autoimmune specialist. I have over 25 years of experience in this field. I did my PhD fellowship at our National Institutes of Environmental Health Sciences with our government, and also at Duke University VA Center. And now, after going through my own healing, I am a licensed holistic practitioner with the Professional Wellness Alliance, which is a huge organization where we've helped thousands of people to optimize their health. And we partner with thousands of other doctors and scientists, like I said, who we are on a mission. We know that conventional medicine has failed us. It's antiquated. It's not working at the root cause level. There is so much new science that your conventional doctor maybe hasn't even heard of and is certainly not using to help you. And you deserve to have that information now. So that's our main mission, is to get that information into your hands. And so first, I want to take a few minutes and just tell you about my super crazy nightmare story. So the reason why I tell you this story is because I want you to see what is absolutely possible for you and your health, because I have absolutely suffered, just like probably you are suffering right now. Okay. So I had been off and on sick from the time I was 12 years old, but nobody ever really identified it as anything specific. They just said, oh, well, you have anxiety and you have migraines and, you have foot problems and you have some gut issues and, blah, 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 blah. But no one ever put it all together until I was in my late 30s. And what happened is I was in my PhD program at the NIHS, and I was becoming worse and worse and worse very quickly. And no one could really figure it out. It was like being in the middle of all these autoimmune specialists. It was crazy that none of us said, oh my God, you have an autoimmune disease. But that's exactly what it was. I mean, for some reason, I think we all thought that because we worked in autoimmunity, we weren't allowed to have it. I don't know what the mindset is behind that, but we were just all blinded to it, right? And turns out that I wound up getting 7 diagnosed autoimmune diseases in a very short period of time. And it was scary, okay? I basically lost my career because I became so sick in about a 3-year time period. I went from, being that rock star mom who, that woman who was like the type A who could do anything and achieve anything and, getting all these accolades and everything, to being so sick that I could barely even remember my dog's name. And that's really how bad it was. It was very scary. It truly was a nightmare. Of course, my entire life changed in that short period of time. I was literally, the first diagnosis that I got was scleroderma. It quickly became arthritis, and then thyroiditis, and then Hashimoto's disease, and then bowel disease, which turned into Crohn's, and then polymyositis. But they couldn't figure out whether it was polymyositis or lupus, and that went back and forth for a while. I eventually got Addison's from all the medicine that they put me on. I mean, it was just a living nightmare, and I suffered like that for almost 15 years before I found my way out of this nightmare. And that's what I'm here to tell you about today, because there is a way out. Whatever your disease is, most of the time, there is a way out. And even the World Health Organization will tell you that most of the diseases that we see today, that are the chronic diseases, are literally about 80% of them can literally be reversed. And not only that, but they can be prevented now as well with the new science that we have. And so I suffered from, you name it, I had the symptom, right? The extreme exhaustion and the fatigue and the terrible brain fog, the aphasia where you can't find names and you know what you want to say, but you can't get the words out. I thought I might be even walking towards early dementia. And truth be known, we know now scientifically that when you start having very severe inflammatory problems like this, that yes, we certainly are walking towards dementia, but we can walk that back as well. That's the hope in the new science that we have. And of course, I had widespread pain. I was on a cocktail of anywhere between 12 and 20 different medications every single day, and still continued to get worse and worse. However, I have this beautiful granddaughter at the time, okay? And there was a family tragedy, and I was left to take care of her as I was starting to develop all of these, severe issues, right? Also, the trauma was so bad that even my husband abandoned the family. So here I was, I'm sick as a dog. There's a problem, a very severe problem with my daughter. She's had this beautiful baby. No one can take care of the baby, and it fell on me. So here I was alone, very sick, feeling like I've lost everything in my life except this beautiful little baby. And so, of course, I had to do everything I could and take care of her. And I want you to know, I mean, you see me sitting here in front of you, so you know that the end of the nightmare story is actually an awesome story. And I did find my hope, and I found it in the latest science of precision root cause medicine. It literally saved my life. And of course, now I know why I had to go through all the suffering that I went through. The Lord showed me this very clearly, that, he gave me my brain. He gave me my ability to understand the sciences at the level that I do. And then he allowed me to have very severe, debilitating, disabling disease for a very long time. Then he showed me the truth of his science so that I can walk out of that situation. And it wasn't a quick fix. And yes, I had to do a lot of work to get there. But oh my goodness, it was the best work that I've ever done in my life. It was a true spiritual journey. And now I'm sitting in front of you today, essentially healed. And this is done through a very scientific, evidence-based, precise, and personalized holistic approach. It's basically using the latest science that your doctor is definitely probably not telling you about. And of course, my life is completely transformed now. It's been over 6 years, and I'm totally crushing it. And these are the results that I got. Well, just some of them. I don't even have time to tell you all of them. But literally, I went from a person on 12 to 20 medications a day for pain and many other symptoms to no more pain. Okay, I have zero pain now. And that is the God's honest truth. I have no more brain fog, and mine was very severe. The anxiety and the depression that come with your neurochemical changes when you have a chronic illness, gone, folks. I have so much energy. I am running circles around my 30-year-old friends. I am not on any medications whatsoever anymore, and I don't need them because I have healed the bottom line root causes of why I got sick in the first place. And that's the difference between conventional medicine and root cause medicine. My ANA markers and all of my other biomarkers, they're all not only normal, they are optimal now. I'm really, truly thriving in health, even though I'm no spring chicken. Okay, I didn't do this at 19 or 20 years old. I did this in my 50s. Okay, my gut and my nutrition issues are all solved. And well, for the most part, there might be just a couple of little things left that I'm still working on. And I've lost 100 pounds, which, wow, I thought I would never get that weight off with all the medications and the cortisone and everything that they had me on. Gone, right? I don't have fatty liver disease anymore. I don't have those invisible infections anymore, or those gut pathogens that I had before. The insomnia that I had that was horrible is completely gone, and I sleep like a baby every night. I had to learn how to do that. Okay. And I found out that I had a lot of really bad habits. Even though I thought that I was a healthy person, I thought that I was following good, healthy habits, I really had to learn a lot differently and how to take care of myself. I no longer have the toxicities, although, there's just a little bit left over that I think I'll always be working on, but that's okay. It's just part of a lifestyle, and I feel great anyway. And there's just so much more. I just don't have time to tell you everything, but suffice it to say that I use the word healed because I truly am healed. I'm walking around healthier than I have ever felt since I was 12 years old. And that's really saying something. So of course I use the word healed. I'm not afraid of using the word healed. And my rheumatologist said literally that she considers me 95% reversed. And literally, she came to me one day and she just shook her head and she said, Dory, she said, I wouldn't have believed it if I didn't see it with my own eyes. But she said, I can't even diagnose you with even one autoimmune disease today. If I didn't know that you already had been diagnosed previously, she could not diagnose me today. That was a very happy day for me to hear that from her. And of course, so I went out and I used all of my, my $200,000 worth of science education to become a holistic practitioner, right? Because now, of course, you can't shut me up. Now that I know what's actually possible and the problem that we're not taught this in medical schools. I was not taught this in my PhD program. Even this is the highest level of education in autoimmune disease. And yet I was not taught, and some of the science was actually available when I was going through school, but they don't teach it in conventional medical schools, okay? And that's part of the problem with our system, but you don't have to play with that problem anymore. And then, of course, God started this business, True Wellness Today, when I wasn't even ready. He just started bringing clients to me, and he just told me, help them. And I was still in school, and right? I was still learning myself. I was still healing myself. And he said, nope, you know more than they do. You start helping them. And we did. And the business has just grown, and we've just been blessed and blessed and blessed and blessed. And, this all comes from the Lord. I don't take credit for any of this because he is the one who has orchestrated my life and has, done all of this for me. I don't think I would have chosen to do it this way, but he knew what he was doing. And so here we are. Our clients get amazing results. And of course, they're loved at every step of the way. And of course, now we're partnered with Dr. Isaac Jones and those thousands of other doctors and scientists that I told you about with HEA. And it is our very strong mission. We're not just out to help you to feel better, okay? We want to help you. We want to help your kids, your grandkids, and we've got people lobbying before Congress to change the face of this broken sick care system that's pharma funded and it's corrupted and it's a mess, okay? So we're out to change that. And so here today, this was actually like a year ago, a picture of me and my baby granddaughter, Janet. She's all grown up now and she's beautiful and she's crushing it too. And you will see both her and I both on a new documentary series put out by Dr. Tom O'Brien. He's one of the top functional doctors in the world. And actually, he just interviewed us last week telling our story. And I think when it comes out in November, be looking for it. I think you're really going to love it. And so at this point, you've heard my story. You should just take a moment and think about what it would be like if you knew that you could take one of your very worst symptoms, the one thing that keeps you up at night, the one thing that worries you the most. What if we could take that symptom and what if we could make it just 50% better? So would that make a difference in your life? I know what the answer is, right? Of course it would make a difference in your life. But what if we could make it 75% better? What if we could make it 95% better? What if you could get rid of most of your symptoms because you've gotten rid of those root causes that made them happen in the first place? That's what the new science can do for you. And don't think that just because, oh my gosh, well, Dory, you did it, but I don't think I can do this, right? It's just not true, okay? You can do this. Everybody can do this, right? You can make this happen. And it's going to start right here. You got to learn what I've got to teach you today and then start applying it. And you can actually make a huge transformation in your health. And I want you to get rid of that, that stinking thinking that we all have, right? And I know because I had the worst stinking thinking when I first learned about root cause medicine. I had all these thoughts because I believed that I was incurable, and it was even worse for me because I was trained as a specialist and I was taught that it was incurable. Okay. So I was totally brainwashed into that whole incurable thing, which is totally not true, not with the science that we have today. I believed that I was too sick and that, I've already tried, I already have 5 specialists. So I've already done all this stuff. And, there's nothing we can do about this. It's just not true. Okay. There's so much more that you can do. You have not tried everything. I've not met anyone yet come to me who had already tried everything. Everyone who sits before me, not everyone says it, but a lot of people say, oh, well, I've tried everything. And then I sit, listen to them talk. And then I say, well, have you tried this? And they're like, what's that? Well, have you tried that? Well, what's that? Well, have you tried this? Well, I've never heard of that. And so trust me, there is so much more out there that your doctors have not told you. Okay. I believed this. A lot of people believe that that you think that you're stuck on your medications for life because some doctor told you that you were stuck on your medications for life, and you just decided to believe him because he's a doctor. Okay. And trust me, most of the time that's not true. There are some incidents where people do need to stay on medication for life, but most of the time, for most of these things that people believe that, it's just not true. You can get off of your medication, you can cure your root causes, and then you don't need that medication anymore. And if you've been all over the internet and you've tried the AIP diet and you've been to other functional medicine doctors and you felt that they didn't help you enough, let me tell you, that's extremely common. And I'm going to explain to you why that is in just a little bit. If you believe that, oh, it's just going to take too much time or too much energy, or I'm too tired, or it's going to cost too much money, God, just get rid of that, because you're going to stop yourself from getting well with that kind of thinking. You'd be willing to put money into a vacation, or you'd be willing to put money into a big screen TV. You got to be willing to put some money into your own health, because I'm telling you, it's the best money you will ever spend, because you will have your very best life. And lastly, I had this. I know most people feel this way, especially if you've been sick for a really long time. You get so used to being in that sick mode that you automatically just have this replay going on in your head. Well, this isn't going to work for me. I'm just going to fail. If I have to, live on this really super healthy diet, I'm not going to be able to do it. I'm going to cheat, blah, blah, blah. Okay. We all have those thoughts. We all have those feelings. And I want you to know that it's about baby steps when you learn how to take better care of yourself and get rid of those root causes. Okay. And even if you're a total junk food junkie, like I was, okay, you can still do this. It just takes time and learning, taking those baby steps, and having people around you who are truly loving, who've been in your shoes before, and can take you by the hand and teach you all the little easy tricks in how to do this. Okay. So you can definitely do this as long as you're a person who is coachable. Now, there are some people who aren't. They probably wouldn't be a good fit for this, right? Most people are coachable if you're willing to take action on the things that you learn, right? If you're focused on your progress day by day with those little baby steps, and you're not focused on perfection, because trust me, I got well and I was not perfect at this. I don't know anyone who's perfect at this, okay? Even those of us who have healed, we're still not perfect at this, but we still are good enough at it to where we can get really, really well. And that's what we want to help you do too. And lastly, if you're committed to getting better, it's a mindset thing, folks. That is the first and most important thing. If your head is in the right place, and even if you're scared to death, but you're determined to get your health back, and you're committed, and you never give up on yourself and the life that you deserve, you can definitely heal. Okay. All right. So I want to tell you a little story now about Dorothy. And Dorothy is a client of ours. She's another doctor. She's a pathologist. And she had very severe scleroderma. Scleroderma is the same disease that I was diagnosed with. It's a rare, very severe autoimmune disease. And yeah, some people live longer with it, but a lot of people can die within 4 years of this disease. It can come on very fast and very scary. And she didn't know, of course, she was taught also that her autoimmune disease was incurable and that there was basically nothing they could do except slow it down with a lot of medications, but that she was told that she would die young. But she came to our program and she says, working with Dory in her program completely changed my life. And thank you from the bottom of my heart. And why does she say that? It's because we found her root causes and we started turning them around. And lo and behold, her own body started healing her once it didn't have to deal with those root causes anymore. And she feels much better now. She's still working on it, but she feels amazingly better, like 75% better. And you think that was worth it to her? Yeah, it was. So now I want to get to the meat. Okay. I want you to know exactly why you have developed all of your different symptoms, whether it be your exhaustion or your brain fog or your pain or your gut issues or whatever, anxiety and depression, whatever it is. Most of those symptoms have one major thing in common that science has discovered. And I'm going to teach you about that today. You probably already know what this is, but we're going to go real deep today. I've got a bunch of information for you that you're going to love. Okay, so I'm going to teach you how to transform your health without wasting time or money. Okay, because being sick is expensive and the suffering that you go through is traumatizing. And we want to pull you out of that and give you back your power. Okay, so let's talk about what is that one main reason that science has discovered that is blocking your health and optimal performance right now. And I'll bet you probably might have an inkling of what this is because everybody talks about it. And over 600,000 research studies have been done on this. And so it's not a theory, it is a proven fact. We know exactly why you are sick. And it's because of chronic inflammation. Okay, chronic inflammation is the one underlying problem that is causing all of the disease, not just causing aging, but causing all chronic illness. And that includes things like autoimmune diseases, diabetes, heart disease, even Alzheimer's and dementia, anxiety and depression, autism, cancer, premature aging, all of these things. The main problem that you have is chronic inflammation. And even if your doctor tells you, well, we've checked your CRP and we've checked your ESR and you don't have any chronic inflammation, please walk out of his office and don't go back, because that is a doctor who doesn't know his stuff. Okay, and I'm sorry to tell you that, but I'm going to give it to you straight. Every single symptom that you have has its root in chronic inflammation. And our job is to find the reason why. And everybody knows that this is a fact, right? It's just that not everybody knows how to fix it. Okay, so this is what I'm here to talk to you about today. I want to show you how you fix it, why it happens, and how you fix it. Okay, so according to the latest science, there are 3 main root causes that create your chronic inflammation and therefore your symptoms. Okay, feel free, if you like, I'm perfectly happy if you guys want to take little pictures and screenshots of these slides. It's perfectly fine with me. I want you to take these and print them out and blow them up, put them on your fridge, and remember this stuff, right? Because this is going to save your life. This is going to save your children's life and your grandchildren's life, okay? So the 3 main root causes of inflammation are your toxicities that you're exposed to, your cellular deficiencies. That means all those little nutrients and oxygen and things that your cells just don't have enough of. And so, of course, you're sick because you don't have everything your cells need in order to function properly. And yes, stress and trauma are involved. Okay. Now, I know that a lot of doctors will tell you, especially us women, this seems to really happen a lot to us women, that they can't find anything wrong with you with their antiquated tests. So what they do is they say, well, it's probably just stress. Here, have some Xanax or take a Prozac, right? That's wrong, guys. And if you've suffered from that kind of gaslighting from doctors, I'm very sorry. I did too. Most of us have, especially if you're a woman, and that's wrong. It's not all stress, but yes, stress has something to do with it because stress raises inflammation all by itself. And of course, if you don't feel good and you're worried about it, you're going to be stressed. So it becomes this terrible catch-22 where you're worried and you're stressed about your symptoms and they're getting worse and they're giving you more medications and this and that, or maybe you're misdiagnosed so they can't find anything wrong with you or whatever. Of course, you're going to be stressed, right? But it's not all stress. It is not all in your head. And so if any doctor says that to you, you can tell him straight up that he's gaslighting you. You can walk out and refuse to pay him. Okay. Here are the major categories of root causes that we find. This is another slide that you're going to want to take a picture of and post on your refrigerator and talk to your friends about. Okay. In these three major categories, the toxins, the deficiencies, and the stress psychology, let's talk about the toxins first, because the toxins are the biggest issue. They're the main big bad elephant in the room that most doctors don't even test for. Okay. And they involve a couple of different kinds of toxins that we're all exposed to, but some of us hold on to them because of our genetics. And I'm going to tell you about that in a minute too. Okay, so we've got three major categories. We've got the living toxins, which we call the biotoxins. We've got the chemical or environmental toxins, and then we've got the electromagnetic radiation and the Wi-Fi and all of that, which is really hard to get away from. But if you can get rid of most of the toxins in your life and reduce your Wi-Fi exposure, then you can certainly get completely well. Trust me, I sit in a Wi-Fi filled room all day long, and I'm no longer sensitive to it like I was because I've gotten rid of most of my other toxins. You see, your body can do that. It was built to do that. Okay, so let's look at the biotoxins. The biotoxins are things like mold and parasites and yeast and fungus and cavities in your mouth, overgrown pathogens, viruses, even things like COVID. Okay, this is all part of it. Okay, the chemicals are all kinds of things, and we have wonderful tests nowadays that are not that expensive that can find all these for you, or at least most of them. And yes, they involve heavy metals like lead and mercury and things like that, but also a lot of different things that we're all exposed to, like glyphosate and parabens in our beauty products and all kinds of yucky stuff that we are exposed to. And again, some of us hang on to those things. Most people with an autoimmune disease will hang on to toxins because of our genetics. It's one of the reasons why we're more susceptible to developing autoimmune disease where other people don't. I'm going to teach you more about that in a minute. Okay, so that's your toxins category. Okay, now your deficiencies category. This one, people mostly think of it as your diet, okay? But it is way more than that. Yes, it is your diet because most people are not eating properly, even if you think you are, okay? Even people who are like strict vegetarians, trust me, we see them all the time and they're a royal mess on the inside, on the cellular level and the biochemical level. Okay. And so there is amazing testing that we can do that can find out exactly what your cells are missing. And then, of course, we can teach you how to give your cells back what they're missing with certain foods, certain supplements, and lifestyle practices. Okay. So it's not just all about taking a bunch of supplements, although supplements can very much help. But it's your vitamins, your minerals, amino acids, polyphenols, antioxidants, flavonols, all of that good stuff that your body needs, omega-3s, right? All of that. And by the time people get to a point where they are having chronic symptoms, they've got both of these things. They've got toxins built up in their system, as well as multiple nutritional deficiencies, but not only nutritional deficiencies, but also things about the way your cells are processing oxygen, right? We usually don't think of things like that. We usually just take breathing for granted. But if you're not sleeping well at night, if you have any kind of sleep apnea, if you're snoring, if you're just, not breathing deeply and properly every day, and you're hunched over and you're this type of thing, right? Then your cells are not getting enough oxygen. And it's like water. If you're not getting enough water, you're not getting enough oxygen, you're not getting enough nutrients. Duh. It's not rocket science that you're not going to feel good. You're not going to have good energy under those situations, right? And so the testing that we have today, the scientific testing, is much more sensitive than those regular tests that you get through LabCorp or Quest. And they can actually look at the metabolites of these things so that we can see exactly what you need. It's really a beautiful, amazing thing. And then also people often forget about your nervous system structure. Okay, so your nervous system, if it's impeded because you're out of alignment, or because of the way you sit, or because of your posture, or because you're in a car accident or whatever, right? And your nervous system is impeded, that means that your nerves can't get messages as quickly to places where it's supposed to go. And of course, those nerves are running your whole body, right? And so it's a very important part of the whole deficiencies picture, okay? And then lastly, we can't forget about the stress psychology. It is quite true that if you take a person who is under extreme trauma, and you can imagine situations, I don't need to talk about them, but people who are under abusive situations, people who are, have a lot of, deep traumas, we can remove toxins and we can fix their deficiencies all day long, but they will still have a degree of sickness. And why is that? Because that stress and that trauma all by itself causes a very high amount of chronic inflammation. And remember what I taught you, that it's that chronic inflammation that is the bottom line right there. Okay, that if we can just get most of that chronic inflammation out of your body, you will feel amazingly better. Okay, and so this is what we call, in scientific circles, the new genius model of disease. In other words, this is the big picture of why you are sick. And I know this slide looks a little busy, and I want you to forgive me because, I am a scientist, and so that's just what we do. We make very busy slides, and I really tried to make this one simpler for you, and this is about as simple as I can get it. So you might want to take a picture of this too. This is the whole thing that happens when you're sick, okay? This is why you are sick. First of all, you have these root causes. You have toxins, and you have different cellular deficiencies, and you have extra stress and trauma that your body doesn't like any of that, okay? And so then what your body does is your immune system mounts a response. And it's a massive immune response that creates chronic inflammation ongoing for years and years and years and years. And what that chronic inflammation is actually doing, now I'm going to teach you about the genetic part, okay? It's actually changing the way your genes are expressing, okay? Many studies have been done that prove that if you have low inflammation, then the way your genes express is proteins that lead to health. Okay. But if as you increase the inflammation in a mouse model or in a person, what happens is now your genes start creating proteins that lead to tissue damage and finally disease and eventually death. Okay. So this is the way it works. Remember the big picture. Okay. But it's not just the inflammation affecting your genes. It's also affecting the genes of your microbiome. Okay, I'm going to teach you more about that in a minute. So hold on, I'm going to break this down for you because this can get really deep and geeky, but I'm going to walk you through each of these. Okay. And it's not just the genetic changes. Okay. There's genetic changes on top of mitochondrial changes. And again, I'm going to teach you more about the mitochondria in just a moment, but your mitochondria control all of your energy. They control a lot more than that too. And so if you've got higher chronic inflammation, then you've got lower energy. Okay. And it just gets worse and worse. But it's not just that. Okay. That chronic inflammation also affects your gut health. Okay. And your gut health also affects your brain health. Okay. And so we know nowadays, we've known since 2007 from all the research that was done by Alessio Fasano at Harvard. And also other, nobody believed him. They all poo-pooed him. And so many other laboratories around the world have tried to prove him wrong. And actually they wound up proving him right. That if you have any symptoms whatsoever, you don't have to wonder whether you have leaky gut. The answer is yes, you have leaky gut. And if you have leaky gut, then yes, you also have leaky brain. And this is no longer a theory. This is an undisputed scientific fact. So you got pain in your knee? Yes, you have leaky gut and leaky brain. You got anxiety? Yes, you have leaky gut and you have leaky brain. You have an autoimmune disease? Yes, big time. You have leaky gut, leaky brain. You don't have to wonder, okay? It's a fact. You got it. Now it's your responsibility. You got to fix it, okay? And when you learn how to fix it, you do get better, okay? Now, it's all of this, your root causes that cause your chronic inflammation, that lead to all these things. And then, oh my God, it gets worse, you guys. All of these things then increase your chronic inflammation. And it becomes this insanity. It just becomes this roller coaster ride. You're on a rat spinning wheel of the genetic changes get worse and the mitochondrial dysfunction gets worse and the gut gets worse and the brain gets worse and that creates more inflammation. And then it gets worse and worse and worse and more inflammation and worse and worse and worse and more inflammation. Right? Stop the madness. Okay. You can turn this whole thing around. You don't have to continue in this. Okay, because what all of that is doing is it's causing your symptoms, it's causing tissue damage, it's causing disease, and finally, sadly, it causes a lot of people's deaths because they don't know how to turn this whole thing around. And of course, they're told by their doctor that they're incurable and there's nothing they can do but take their expensive pharmaceuticals. Okay, I hope I completely blew your mind with that. And a little bit of comic relief there. I just love that picture. It just cracked me up when I saw it. So I had to put it in my slide. Now, what I want to do is I want to break down, if you will allow me to. I know I've already talked a lot, but I want to give you even more value. Okay. I want to really teach you a little bit more. So if you can, scare up some more little brain cells for me in there and listen just a little bit longer. I want to give you some deeper not inflammation. I don't want to give you inflammation. I want to give you some deeper information that is going to really help you to understand this whole picture more. Okay. All right. So first of all, I want to talk about that whole genetic thing. Most people believe, because this is what we used to believe 30 years ago, most people believe that whatever genes that God deals you, you're stuck with, and that's just the way it is, and there's nothing you can do about it. And I'm here to tell you, I'm going to debunk that for you right now. That's a big fat lie. That is no longer scientifically true. So please don't walk around and say that to people anymore. As a matter of fact, tell them the truth. Tell them you are not just stuck with your genes. Because now we know, since the Human Genome Project in 2002, this blew scientific minds all over the world. We now know that your genes express differently based on your environment. Okay. And what is your environment? Either inflammation or not inflammation, right? And the higher the inflammation, the worse your genes express. The lower your inflammation, the better your genes express, and you will be healthier and happier. And that's the bottom line. It really boils down way more to, of course, yes, genes play a role, but genes play a smaller role, and you can learn how to overcome those genetic deficiencies that you have. Okay. We do that with clients every single day, and it's a lot easier than you think. Okay. So when we're talking about inflammation on a genetic level, again, we're not just talking about how it affects your cellular genes. Okay. It's not just you, because you have a microbiome. And your microbiome, of course, you probably already know this, most people know this, but you have trillions and trillions and trillions of little tiny microscopic organisms that live within your body. A lot of them are in your gut, but it's not just your gut. They are everywhere throughout most of your body. And there's a lot more of them than there is of your own personal cells. Okay. And a lot of people make the joke that, well, humans, what are we? We're just a bag to walk around and hold all these other bugs. And we're really living for them, and they are living for us, and they are literally controlling our health, right? And so we need to make sure that we take care of our little buggers and make sure that they are in an environment that is not inflammatory, because the more inflammatory an environment we choose to live in, and yes, a lot of this is your choice, you just don't know it, okay? Then, oh my gosh, you put them in an inflammatory environment, they are not going to be happy. And there's going to be a lot that goes wrong with them. Okay. And you can control the way your genes express and the way your microbiome genes express. You can control that about every 30 seconds. Right. It's not that you're just stuck with your genes and the way they express. You can change it with the foods that you eat. You can change your gene expression with the toxins that you're exposed to. You can change it with lifestyle practices such as getting good sleep and exercise and play and rest. You can even change the way your genes express and the way your microbiome's genes express just with your thoughts and your emotions. And I know that's probably blowing your mind, but that's the truth. That is the scientific truth. So now I want to teach you a little bit about that second area. Okay, so now we've learned about that genetic area. Now I want to teach you a little bit more about your mitochondria. Okay, first of all, most people know what mitochondria are. You learned about it in high school biology class, and they're those tiny little bug-like things that live inside of most of your cells. And they're so teeny tiny that literally thousands of them can live in one cell. right? So it's really amazing the way God created our bodies, isn't it? I mean, it's just like blow your mind. And these mitochondria are responsible for not only your energy production, they produce all your energy, they take in all your oxygen, and they take water and oxygen and fuel and things, and they turn it into energy for you, energy for everything, for the way you think, for whether you can exercise or not, or just anything, any cellular process you have to have energy for, right? As a matter of fact, the reason why people die of cyanide exposure, in the spy movies where you take one little tiny little drop of cyanide and you're dead in 3 seconds, the reason why that happens is because cyanide basically kills all your mitochondria instantly in your body. And that's why people die within like a few seconds, right? And so your mitochondria are extremely important, okay? And we used to think that that's all they did was create our energy, but now we know way more. The science has exploded in this field. I mean, literally exploded exponentially. And we know that your mitochondria control whether you have metabolic disorder or not, like high sugar, diabetes, prediabetes, insulin resistance, weight gain, things like that. Your mitochondria control whether you develop cancer or not. Your mitochondria also control your aging and your rate of aging. And they do this by this process called autophagy, which is another big Scrabble word that I'm going to explain to you next. Okay. All it basically means is cellular turnover. Okay. So let's talk a little bit more about that. Let's talk about the autophagy and how it relates to you thriving or not, how it relates to your longevity, how long you live and how healthy a life that you live. Because nobody wants to live a long life in a wheelchair, taking 20 different medications. Nobody wants that, okay? We all want to be like those blue zone people, which I'm hinting at. I'm going to tell you about them in a minute. And of course, now science knows, we have proven that we can actually age backward. And before you say, oh my gosh, Dory, now you've blown it. Now I'm not going to believe this. This is a bunch of bull and I'm just going to turn you off. Please don't. Please listen to me, because I'm going to tell you what's going on in science today. It's remarkable. It's amazing. And yes, I have done it. I have turned back the clock. Lots of people have done it, and you can too. Okay. So what is autophagy? Autophagy is what happens in our body every single day. Thousands and hundreds and thousands of cells are literally like eating themselves and then renewing themselves every day. So in other words, cells are dying and cells are being replaced. But the problem is probably going on in your body right now, what was going on in my body when I was sick, is this whole process of autophagy wasn't working very well, okay? And why does that happen? It happens because we don't have good nutrients in our body and we have a lot of toxicities in our body. And that slows down our autophagy. And what it creates is these old, slow, senescent cells that we call zombie cells. Yeah, scientists actually call them zombie cells because that's kind of what they are. They're like old, evil, yucky things. They're not really doing their job, but what are they doing? They're causing widespread chaos and havoc and inflammation in your body. And we don't want those zombie cells. We want autophagy to happen so they can die and be replaced by new healthy cells. Okay. We want to be able to recycle them and create new cells. The problem is that if you're still living a lifestyle that is filled with toxins and you're loaded with mold and you've got overgrown pathogens and you've got chemicals and you've got junk and blah, 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 and you got all this stress, okay, and you're still eating everything out of the grocery store, okay, what's going to happen is you're going to have slow autophagy. You're going to have tons of massive inflammation. And then your cells aren't going to just stop trying to renew. They're still going to, some of them are going to die and they're going to be replaced by new cells. But the longer you go on with those toxins and those cellular deficiencies, when you create new cells, you're not creating brand new baby beautiful cells anymore. You're creating cells that don't have everything they need and that are filled with toxins. So those new cells even are sick. And that's why people get worse and worse and worse. And that's why they age faster and faster and faster. Okay. Or just die young. Okay. And that's not what we want. We want to be able to age backward, and we age backward by changing the environment in our body such that, you guessed it, it's not in a state of inflammation anymore, and your cells have everything that they need, and your toxins are almost gone out of your body. And now you can do autophagy much faster. And what happens is you start creating newer cells that are way healthier than they used to be. Okay. And you actually start changing. You start aging backward. Your skin gets better. Your hair gets better. Your cells are younger. And it's proven. You can do these scientific tests now where the telomeres, the little ends of your chromosomes that shorten as you age, you can actually watch them lengthen again as you go through this process of cellular renewal. It's a beautiful thing. Part of stem cell therapy that everyone has heard of is doing this process, okay? So this is exciting new science that you can actually do. You can age backward, lengthen your lifespan. You can increase your cellular energy by strengthening your mitochondria. You can remove all that chronic inflammation. You can balance your immunity. And that's very important, because the whole reason why we have the big C and people are dying and all these problems that we have is because people are relatively not in a good place with their health, right? And so therefore they don't have really good immune regulation, and the people who are dying are the worst of us there, right? Or the people who have the long haul, right? That's why. That's the difference between them and some of us who get COVID and we just get over it and it's no big deal. Okay. It reduces the effects of aging, like I told you. It even eliminates viral cells. So if you've got long-term COVID, then you want to definitely learn how to do autophagy so that you can get rid of some of those cells that are still hanging around and causing problems for you. It prevents cancer. It increases your ability to exercise and have good muscle performance. And of course, we know how important that is as we age. It prevents degenerative diseases like arthritis and dementia and Alzheimer's. And of course, it creates a much younger, stronger, more resilient and efficient body, but not only your body, but your brain as well. Okay. And I want to tell you about these people in the blue zones. Most people have already heard about this, but these are areas around the world where people are so incredibly healthy that they blow us all away. That these are people who live anywhere from 105, 110, 120 years. They never get sick. They just get to the end of their life, and within a couple of weeks, they get tired and then they just fall asleep and go to heaven, right? They don't have autoimmune disease, they don't have diabetes, they don't have heart disease, they don't have weight gain, they don't have weight loss. They maintain a healthy weight their entire life. These people are incredibly healthy. And we have learned two things. We've done a ton of scientific studies on this. We've learned two things that these people mostly have in common. And those two things are they have a very balanced and diverse microbiome, not just in their gut, but throughout their whole body, instead of just, a few hundred of different bugs. They have a very wide diversity, thousands of different bugs that are living throughout their body. Okay. And they're all healthy. They're balanced. They're healthy. Right. And they have what's called balanced mitochondrial uncoupling and energy production. I'm going to explain that So hang tight. This is brand new science, folks. Okay. And to make it easy on you, I'm going to give you a little hint, right? Who cares about the science? What you really want to know is, how do I make it happen, right? How do I be like these people in the blue zones? And here's just the start, okay? I want you to make sure that every day of your life, so long as you don't have these foods as sensitivities, which also can be fixed, you just need a professional to help you with that. If you don't have problems eating these foods, I want you to rotate these foods in and out of your life every day. Pomegranate, berries, especially strawberries and raspberries, walnuts, and almonds. Okay, make sure that they're organic, that they're pesticide free, that they're non-GMO, right? Because you don't want to put more toxins into your body with these things. So suffice it to say, I'm not going to go really deep into mitochondrial uncoupling. No, I did not make this slide, but this is a typical scientific slide, right? But just suffice it to say that this is some brand new science. And we know that if you can go back and forth between your mitochondria producing energy and your mitochondria actually just kind of releasing some heat, right? And not really doing it, kind of like in a more resting state. You can think about it like that. They're just kind of poof, kind of releasing some heat, but not doing all the work, right? And if you can go back and forth between them doing the work and producing energy and releasing heat, right? Then you're going to do a lot of amazing things. And those foods that I told you about actually help you to do that, right? And you're going to actually increase your energy. You're going to increase your autophagy. So no more zombie cells, right? You're going to produce a state where it's an anti-aging state. Not that you're never going to age, okay, but that you're going to age a lot slower and you're going to live a lot healthier, and you will maintain a balanced, healthy weight. Not too much, not too little, okay? So I bet you're glad that I didn't try to explain that entire slide to you, right? But I know that that's, probably enough information, right? If your brain is not already blown by this point. Now I want to talk to you about something that maybe you already know, but no good presentation about health is finished until we make sure that you understand that inflammation at the gut and the brain level are going to cause you your biggest problems. Okay. Like I said, yes, if you have any symptoms whatsoever, you do have leaky gut. And yes, leaky gut and leaky brain go together. If you have one, you have the other. But inflammation at the gut and brain level causes not only the leaky gut and leaky brain, but also your food sensitivities. And I'm going to explain to you how that happens in a minute. It causes your brain fog, your anxiety, your dementia, your Alzheimer's, all of this. It causes weight gain, thyroid problems, hormonal dysfunction. It causes this whole maldigestion and malabsorption of your nutrients that is so common nowadays. It causes insulin resistance and the whole prediabetes and diabetic syndrome that we're seeing. And here's a stat for you. 87% of people in Western nations now have leaky gut and leaky brain. 87%. That means only 13% of people are actually healthy, you guys. And why? It's because of this whole insulin resistance problem. We are not eating right. We are living in a society that has raised us to think that things are food that are not food. And literally, it's killing us. It's killing you, right? It's not killing me anymore because I'm not doing it. I refuse. And you need to learn how to be a society rebel as well if you want to be really healthy. And it's great. It's not that hard to do. You can actually do this, okay? And that whole inflammation at the gut and brain level, it's causing all those microbial overgrowth, so the yeast overgrowth and the, what we call the gut dysbiosis, where there's not enough good bugs, too many bad bugs, right? And most of all, it's causing this whole big immune dysfunction problem, right? It's creating the epidemic of autoimmune diseases and allergies and asthmas that we see in our children, ADHD, anxiety, the high susceptibility to virus, not only things like COVID, but also Epstein-Barr and cytomegalovirus, even other pathogens like Lyme disease, right? You're not supposed to have chronic Lyme disease. You can get bit by 100 ticks and not have chronic Lyme disease. But the reason why it's such an epidemic is because of all of these other problems that we have, okay? So let's look at what a healthy gut actually looks like. And I need to give credit to Microbiome Labs. They're an awesome company that has great gut health products. And these slides are awesome. So we use them because whoever created them just did a fantastic job. And they make it really easy for you to learn. So in a healthy gut looks just like this. You've got the inside of your body, which is down here, okay? And you've got this lining of your gut, which looks like this. It looks like a whole bunch of little fingers, just like this, okay? And that lining between you and the outside world, which is actually the inside of your gut, okay? That air from all the way down, right? That lining is only one cell thick, okay? One cell, okay? And all those cells are really tightly close together, like they're hugging each other. They want to keep it tight because you don't want bad things to leak through from the outside into the inside of you, okay? Your immune system, about 80% of your immune system lives right here on the inside of your gut lining, okay? And if things sneak in, trust me, your immune system goes on the attack right away. That's what creates food sensitivities. I'm going to tell you more about that in a minute. But in a healthy gut, you've got this huge diversity of all these different weird little buggy things that just, and proteins and all kinds of good stuff that live in your gut. Okay, that's your microbiome. Okay, now just as a normal process of living, these things are going to create some toxins, and that's why you poop and that's why you pee. Okay, because that's part of normal cellular metabolism. Okay, but your body and the Lord created you to be able to sweat and to breathe out CO2 and other things, right? And to poop and to pee, right? And so you can get rid of all those, funky little toxins that are produced just from normal metabolism, normal day-to-day living, okay? So think of it this way. You have to poop, so do your microbiome. They've got to release toxins just like you've got to release toxins, and we've got to get rid of all of that, okay? And this really healthy, diverse microbiome, it also has this beautiful mucus layer. So it's kind of like a second barrier, right? Your cell wall here is a barrier, but then you've got this like second barrier here that's made up of some really good like mucusy stuff, okay? And it's supposed to keep bad things from getting into your body and be presented to your immune system, okay? And what's also true is that all of these good healthy bugs in your microbiome, they're creating some really cool things called SCFAs, or short chain fatty acids. And they're creating a whole bunch of good things for you. But one of the big things that they are creating are the short chain fatty acids. And we know that people who have a higher degree of short chain fatty acids are healthy. They don't get cancer. They don't have autoimmune disease. They don't have diabetes. They don't have heart disease, right? But people who don't have enough short chain fatty acids, it's the complete opposite. Okay. You're going to be sick. You're going to have autoimmune disease. You're going to have thyroiditis. You're going to have, cancers. You're going to have lots of bad things happen to you as you decrease short chain fatty acids. And remember, what produces those short chain fatty acids is all of these good guys in your microbiome. So you want a diverse population. You don't just want the white guys or just the black guys, okay? You want the black and the white and the yellow and the brown and the green and the orange and the purple and the everything, okay? And all living beautifully together, okay? But guess what? You're sitting in front of me today watching this presentation because you're probably having symptoms. And what those symptoms mean, remember what I told you, if you have symptoms, you have chronic inflammation. If you have chronic inflammation, you have leaky gut, okay? And then if you have leaky gut, you have leaky brain. So let me tell you what happens with leaky gut. What happens is you start getting, because of the toxins that you're exposed to and the foods that you're eating and the junk that's coming in, right? And the lack of good nutrition, what is happening is these bugs in your gut, instead of them being all different colors and everybody living happily together, you start having all this big, huge white population over here. And maybe you don't have enough of these guys over here. Maybe you have very little over here, but you've got way too much of these guys over here, right? And that is called gut dysbiosis. It's no longer a diverse, beautiful, balanced population. Now it's a wreck, okay? And they start producing a lot more toxins, okay? And those toxins start eating away at this beautiful mucus layer that's protecting you. You do not want this. This is just the very beginning of how it happens. And eventually, and it doesn't take very long for this to happen, eventually this whole mucus layer, it's supposed to be all blue right here, and it's not anymore. The entire mucus layer gets eaten away. What that starts doing is it starts letting some of those bad bugs that are overgrowing, or even if they were good bugs, but now that they're overgrown, now they're bad bugs, right? And they're producing a bunch of toxins, okay? And of course, trust me, I'm greatly simplifying this. It is a lot more complicated than that. But this is just an easy way to understand it. Now, all these bad things, these toxins, we call them LPS toxins, and there's a lot more toxins than those, but it's just easy to describe in a picture like this. A lot of LPS toxins, a lot of yucky stuff, bad bugs, and they're all getting now down to this layer that's only one cell thick, and it starts destroying the cells. Okay. And it starts breaking them apart so that now there's room for them to sneak through. And they sneak through, and they not only get inside of your body and get presented to your immune system, and that's how you get food sensitivities. Okay. What happens is, like, say you eat some broccoli. Okay. Broccoli is a very healthy food. But if your body is in this state, it can't digest it properly. It can't break it down properly. And so then a piece of broccoli slips through because you've got leaky gut. Okay. It slips through. And now your immune system is sitting over here looking at this undigested piece of broccoli going, what the heck is that? That's not broccoli. That's this weird thing. And so then your immune system starts trying to attack broccoli. And then all of a sudden you think you're allergic to broccoli. And you're not allergic to broccoli. You have a food sensitivity to broccoli. And can you fix that and eat broccoli again? Yes, 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 you can. Okay. So here's what happens. It gets into your immune system, but it also gets into your bloodstream. Okay. And once it gets into your bloodstream, now it's going to get all over your body, in all of your organs, and yes, in your brain. And this is what causes the leaky gut, leaky brain problem. And again, if you're sitting in front of me and you've got pain anywhere in your body, or you've got anxiety, or you've got whatever you got, whatever symptom it is, you got this happening in your body right now, and you need to fix it. And when you fix it, you're going to feel a lot better. Um, I did not make this slide again, but this is typical of scientific slides. So you can't blame me, but I want to show it to you. This is a recent published article in Nature Reviews, one of the top scientific journals. And it's showing the depiction of what happens when you have leaky gut and how it gets to the brain and how it causes all of the brain fog and the anxiety and the depression and the ADHD and all of that good jazz. Okay. And this is what it actually looks like in your brain. So this is more of a healthier brain without all of the leaky brain, which basically means inflammation in the brain, right? And this is a brain where now you've got a lot more inflammation in the brain. And again, that's what's causing your brain fog and your anxiety and depression and the mood imbalances and the hormonal craziness. And eventually, yes, it will lead to a form of dementia or Alzheimer's disease if you live long enough. Okay. This is another slide. This was a 2020 slide looking at some amazing results of these studies that have been done where they take people and animal models that have things similar to schizophrenia or even Alzheimer's disease. I mean, some of the worst diseases that we know of, the scariest things that can happen to people: autism, Parkinson's disease, multiple sclerosis, Huntington's, epilepsy, anorexia, ADHD, all of this, okay? And they've done the studies where they were trying to see if correcting the gut dysbiosis and the leaky gut problem would actually make a difference on these types of neurological disorders. And guess what? They're even seeing amazing results, like people with schizophrenia being able to come off of their medication and they're no longer manic. Okay. People with bipolar no longer being depressed or manic. Kids with autism who couldn't talk now starting to talk and be able to, to be in community with their family. Okay. These are amazing results. And imagine if you can do it for people who are this severe. They can even take people who have up to stage 5 of Alzheimer's disease, which is the stage where you can no longer feed yourself, you can no longer remember your kids' names, okay? If you can take people from that place and you can bring them back down to like a stage 1 of Alzheimer's disease, wow, okay? I mean, this really, it needs to blow your mind. It needs to blow your mind because this is where we're at scientifically today. And yes, you can use this information now and you can get better. You don't have to wait for your doctor to start telling you about it. Okay. And this is one of our clients, Jacqueline. And Jacqueline was literally sick. She always remembered being sick from the time she was a little girl. And she says, imagine getting your life back. I've been sick my entire life, but Dory's program taught me how to heal. Dory found my root causes affordably, and I only wish I found her sooner. Don't wait, do this now, is what she says. And so now Jackie, it's a beautiful story, actually. She's much, much, much healthier. She's now a health coach. And she even got so healthy that even though the doctors told her that she could not have any more children, she wound up getting pregnant and having a beautiful baby girl. Okay. So stories like this are not uncommon. Okay. This is the commonplace. Okay. It's a beautiful thing. And here's another report. This was in JAMA. JAMA is the #1, the biggest, most prestigious Journal of American Medical Association. And yes, they did a study, a very big study of over 7,200 people. And they found that when people did root cause medicine and looked at their root causes and helped their guts and helped their mitochondria, helped their brain function, learned how to eat better, got rid of the toxins, right? Made sure that their cells had everything that they needed. What happens? People get significantly better improvements over conventional healthcare. And of course they do, because conventional healthcare is 17 years behind the times. Okay, and this is another study that was done, and there's been several of them like this, where they've proven that there is a 17-year average time lag between when new medical discoveries are happening and when they finally get down into your doctor's hands and then they can finally get to you. Now, I don't know about you, but that pisses me off. And sorry, I'm a Christian, but I'm going to speak like that because it really does make me angry that people are dying today, right now, when we have the information that can help them to completely transform their lives. And yet they're dying because their doctors don't have the information. And that's not okay. So that's a lot of training, I know. But now that I've taught you this information, you have a responsibility. And I believe that responsibility is given to you by God because he brought you here today. I don't believe in coincidences. I know that God is in control of every single moment of all of our lives. And if you're listening to this right now, then you're here for a reason. You're supposed to hear this information. You're supposed to learn it. And then you're supposed to be responsible and do something about it. Don't just sit on this information because you don't want to be left behind by the latest science and you don't want to become a statistic, okay? And that is what our mission is all about here. And so know that this is true about anything in life, right? If you learn something new, you just sit on it, you don't do anything about it, you don't research it, or you don't take a step forward, please don't expect your health condition to get any better, okay? Because your health condition is not going to get better in your current state just from taking pharmaceutical medications. As a matter of fact, the pharmaceutical medication might help one symptom while messing up 10 other cellular functions, okay? And you know that, just open up the package insert and read all of the side effects that can be caused by that medication, okay? It is way more preferable for you to use the latest science, find the root causes and fix them. Then you don't need the medication anymore, and you can thrive and be healthy just like those people in the blue zones. So now that I've taught you all that, let's talk about how to fix it, okay? This is a very simple step-by-step process that you can do, and that I'm going to actually show you how you can start today, okay? So number one, you got to get to the root causes. You have to remove your toxins. You have to make sure that your cells have everything that they need in order to do their job. And you got to make sure that there's good sources of positive psychology in your life so you can lower your stress. And remember what I taught you. Right? I'm going to put this slide back up. Remember that it's the toxins and the deficiencies and the stress that lead to your chronic inflammation that cause all the genetic changes and the mitochondrial changes and the gut and the brain changes. And it's all of this together that is causing your symptoms and your tissue damage and your disease. And finally, it'll get to the end of you if we don't take care of this. And I want to tell you the 3 tacks in your booty story. It's a really funny story, and it's not my story. It's actually Dr. Mark Hyman's story. He's one of the top functional root cause doctors in the world. He's actually one of the fathers of functional medicine. And he tells a story, really funny. Say you sat down on a bunch of tacks and you got 3 of them stuck in your butt, okay? Now, what if you decided to go to the internet? Well, first of all, I'm almost blowing the story. Okay, hold on. You sat down, you got 3 tacks stuck in your butt. Let's call them the 3 root causes. Let's call those tacks. The green tack is a toxin. The pink tack is a cellular deficiency or a bunch of them. And the blue tack is your stress or your traumas. Okay. Now, say you went to the internet and you saw that, oh, you're on these Facebook groups and wow, they're talking about how to change your diet with the AIP diet. Wow, isn't it wonderful? We're going to get rid of a whole bunch of stuff and we're not going to worry about everything that you're taking in. We're just going to get rid of a whole bunch of stuff. And maybe we're going to fix some things because we're going to stop some toxins coming in because we're going to go organic and we're going to make some good changes. But you pull that tack out. Now, are you still sick? Yeah, because you've still got 2 tacks stuck in your butt. You haven't done everything about those cellular deficiencies just because you go on a really good anti-inflammatory diet. Okay, there's a lot more to it than that. Okay, got to look at your genetics. You got to see what your body needs, right? There's a lot more to it than that. Then you've still got your toxins, right? Those are probably stuck in your body because of your genetics also, right? And then you still got stress and trauma that you're dealing with, because your husband's driving you crazy, your kids are driving you crazy or whatever, right? And you don't have good, healthy boundaries set up there, right? So you got to remove all 3 tacks out of your butt if you want to get out of pain, right? And so I hope that that's a really good, healthy analogy that you can remember. It's not just about your stress. It's not just about changing your diet. And that's why so many people say, well, functional medicine doesn't work because I changed my diet and I'm still sick. Well, this is why. Because functional medicine and root cause medicine is so much more than just changing your diet, folks. Okay, that's just your basic fundamental thing that, of course, you have to do if you want to feel healthy. Can't eat a bunch of Doritos and pizza and beer all the time and think that you're going to be perfectly healthy. But even for those people who do change their diet and they're really trying and they're doing the best they can, they've got this really good diet, but they're still sick. And that's why, because there's so much more to it than that. Okay. So what are we going to do? First of all, we're going to find those root causes. So step 1 is you need to get some good testing done and not the stuff that you get from LabCorp or Quest from your regular doctor. Okay. Now we have people coming to us every day who say, I've tried everything. I've been to all these specialists. They've done all these tests and they can't find anything wrong with me. They come to us and we do the latest state-of-the-art scientific testing, and we find like 25 things wrong with them that, yes, they can take action on and fix, and then get remarkably better results. Okay, so that's where it's at. Step 1 is you've got to do your testing. Okay, and don't go to that negative place that says, oh, yeah, it's just probably way too expensive. Hey, if you can give up your Starbucks coffee, you can afford a good state-of-the-art scientific test that will give you your answers so that then you can really start taking control and get empowered over your health again. So don't give me that, okay? You can definitely do this. It's just a matter of priorities. Instead of buying that purse at the mall, you're going to buy a test instead, because that purse ain't worth nothing to you when you're sitting in your bed sick, right? So the next step is you got to take those things that we find and be willing to work on them, right? I got to tell you, I had a friend once. I won't tell you which friend it was, but I had a friend once who was just totally suffering with a major disease. And I mean a major disease. And she knew me, she loves me, I love her too. But she actually said to me, she said, Dory, if I have to give up the cream in my coffee, I'm not doing this. And, of course, I want to cry because I'm looking at her suffering all the time. And I'm like, really? Really? You would rather suffer and get worse and not be able to take care of your children because you want cream in your coffee? when I could teach you how to have coffee that you will love just as well without the heavy cream. I mean, right? Does that make sense to you? This is the way people think. This is the way I thought when I was sick. I had a friend once tell me, Dory, if you stopped eating so much sugar, you would probably feel better. And I actually blew up on her because I said, wow, sugar is the only thing I've got. I'm sick, right? I was wrong. I was wrong because giving up sugar and only eating sugar once in a while now is the greatest thing I have ever done for my life and for my health. You'd be amazed once you learn how to do this. Okay. And so you have to learn how to correct, and you have to be willing to correct and optimize your health. Right. And when you do, and you start getting those little improvements, right? It's not a quick fix. Okay. You got to work at it. You start getting those little improvement. Oh my gosh, it is so motivating. And you really go through this, I would call it like a very real journey, a spiritual change. You really do. You change not only your physical self, but you change emotionally. You become way more compassionate, more knowledgeable, more insightful, more caring about looking at what other people are doing. You just see more, right? Your brain gets smarter even, you know what I mean? It's just, yeah, trust me, it's a much better way to live, a much better way to live. And finally, step number 3 is, it's not good enough if I had a client once who said, well, it depresses me to think that I have to completely change the way I live and that I can't go back to eating M&Ms whenever I want to. That depresses me. And I'm like, well, we need to change your mindset then, right? Because life is not about M&Ms, okay? Life is about eating the foods that God created you to eat, not the things that you have been raised to think are food, right? And it's not about shaming at all. It's about loving people enough to just be open and honest about this fact that you can't eat a lot of M&Ms and be healthy. The two it's a reality. They just don't go together, right? And I was an M&M addict. Okay, I really was. But I no longer touched them really because now I have a completely different mindset about what's in them. I know exactly what those chemicals and sugars and toxins are doing to my body, and I'm just not willing to do that anymore. So now I have other treats that I love even better because those treats love me back. And so I broke up with my toxic relationship with my M&Ms, right? And now I have a beautiful, healthy relationship with these other kinds of treats that are also chocolate and that are yummy and that are much healthier for me, right? So we have to teach you how to change your mindset and create this whole new long-term thing going on where now you really are a changed person. You really do eat like a king or a queen the way God created you to eat. You don't have those toxins anymore. Your cells have everything that they need. Your autophagy is spinning, and your genetics are producing really good proteins, and your gut is really healthy. You've got this really cool, diverse, loving community going on in there, right? That's the way you want to live. And we can teach you how to do that. That balances your gut and your brain chemicals and your hormones and your mitochondria, and everything is just nice and copacetic, right? And that's the way we all want to live, like those people in the blue zones. You can be just like that. You just have to learn how to live the way they do. And then you can be just like that. And so right now, where you're at is, you've probably been to all these specialists and you've been told you've got this or that, or maybe you're misdiagnosed, or maybe you're undiagnosed, or whatever. But the bottom line is you're like, why am I so sick? Why did this happen to me? Once you take that first step and you do your root cause testing, now you're going to know. Okay. You're going to be empowered. You're going to be excited to find the reasons, because now you can attack your enemy straight on and you can just get in there and start fixing it. Right. And you're going to feel great when you're doing that, instead of just sitting around worrying about your illness getting worse. And this is Scott. He's one of our clients. And he says Dory's a genius, but I'm really not a genius, you guys. It's just that I'm a good scientist and a medical detective, okay? And I've learned this the hard way because I've had to walk through healing my own illness and healing other people's, right? And Scott was actually misdiagnosed by several different specialists. And he was finally given this diagnosis of this horrible disease that he was going to die of within like a couple of years, they told him. And of course, he was scared to death. He went from this like strong man's man to this very anxious, very sick, couldn't get up off the bed, right, very, very sick person. And he didn't know why, but he happened to, there are no coincidences in life. He happened to come across our video once and he started listening and he decided, okay, I'm going to do this. It's what have I got to lose, right? And of course, we found his root causes within just a few weeks of work. And that's true for anybody. You just get the test and you're going to find your root causes, okay? And, he says, she literally gave me my life back. And this is why I'm part of this mission, right? Because not only did I get my life back, but Scott's life is back. Your life can be back. Jackie's life is back. Dorothy's life is back, right? This is what you can do. And so this is why I'm so, like crazy about this mission and letting you know the real truth, that you actually can transform your health with the latest science. You can change your cells and your health, your total health at the cellular level. You can do it at the biochemical level. You can do it at your metabolic and mitochondrial level, and you can do it at your genetic level, and you absolutely can heal. Okay. So I promised you that I was going to give you an opportunity to grab my book. Now, if you like everything that I've taught you today, trust me, it's just a small little piece of the pie. Well, maybe I shouldn't talk about pie. Healthy pie. Really, there is so much more to teach you. And so I am so excited about this new book, and it's coming out in May. At least that's what I'm told. I hope it comes out in May, but very soon it's coming out. And the publishers are offering it at an advanced sale price of only $15. And when it actually does come out, it'll be more than that. It'll be $24.99. So you can take a snapshot of the little scanny doohickey there, and you can go straight to a page that will let you buy my book. And I really hope you will. We worked really, really, really hard on this. And, my main goal is just to give you as much information in a way that you can absorb. It's not a book written for scientists. It's a book written for everybody out there so that you can understand what you can do to help yourself to heal. And so finally, I want to give you, if it's okay with you, I want to give you my stupid no-brainer cheap deal. If you are really excited about what you've heard today and you know that you want to take the next step and you'd like to work with me and my awesome rock star team personally, I want to give you this opportunity. So I've got this limited time offer, and it definitely is limited, you guys. That's not a sales pitch. I'm a bad salesman anyway. I'm a scientist, but it really is limited because, there's only one of me. And of course I have an amazing team, but we are a small Christian mission here. And so we literally can't take everybody. Okay. But if you're ready, and if you're really serious about getting your health back, I want to offer you this today. It's your root cause package, okay? And you're going to love this deal because we created this deal on purpose to help everybody. So there's lots of people out there, okay? We can't help all of them. Even all my, thousands of scientists and doctor friends cannot help all of you, right? But literally, we wanted to put something together that literally anybody can use at a very, very low price. And now there's going to be some people who will be able to join our full program and who will be accepted and be able to really, really work one-on-one with us. But maybe some people can't do that for whatever reason, right? And so we wanted to make sure and create something that literally anybody could do, anybody could get started with, and at least get them a step of the way towards better health. So that's what this whole package is for. And of course, it's the only way for you to be accepted into our program here. If you're serious about doing our entire program and working with us one-on-one, then you have to start here. Okay. And it's the root cause evaluation. It's a one-on-one evaluation with me personally. We're going to give you a customized testing strategy, which saves you money. We're going to evaluate your whole health situation, decide where you can get the most bang for your buck for your testing dollars, and then give you that customized testing strategy. So you don't break the bank just doing 100 different tests. That's crazy. And I know that there are doctors out there who do that, but we do not do that here. Okay. We want to save you as much money as we possibly can. So we're going to narrow in on those root causes that we think are your strongest indicators for getting the best results the fastest. Okay. And also, as part of this, it's not just a consultation that you get, but you're going to get our full 30-day easy quick start program that's kind of like a do-it-yourself. It's actually the beginning where everyone starts in our personalized program when you come here to work with us. And it's basically getting started on all your health fundamentals. And you're going to love this because it's super easy to do. Anybody can do it. Okay. So you're going to get your root cause evaluation. Normally on our website, that's a $497 cost. You're going to get your customized testing strategy that's worth over $200. And then your 30-day easy quick start program. And that's also on our website for a value of $597. But I'm going to give you a better deal today because I am going to give you for free another awesome program that people love. It's another do-it-yourself fundamental that everybody needs to learn this, okay? It's how to balance your brain chemicals so that you can really start reversing the brain fog and the anxiety and the depression and those things that are actually leading towards later dementia and Alzheimer's. Everybody needs to learn how to do this. And this is the full mental health program. And it literally also comes with the supplement protocols that you need to get started. So that on our website is also a $597 value. I'm going to go ahead and give you that because I know everybody needs it, right? Also, if you choose to do a customized lab package, now anyone can just do one test and that's perfectly fine. Look, I was that person who was living on Social Security disability and didn't have a lot of money. So when I was working on my root causes, I had to like knit and crochet and make enough money and sell it on Facebook in order so I could buy one test, and then I would do some work and then I would knit and crochet some more and sell some more and buy another test, right? That's how I got well. And so don't tell me you can't do this, okay? Because pretty much unless you're living in a cardboard box somewhere, you can get enough money to do your tests, even just one at a time. Okay, so there is no reason why you cannot do this, even with one test at a time. But if you have a little more money to put into your health and you want to do a full customized lab package, the labs actually give me a deal, so I can pass that 10% deal on to you and save you even more money there, which is really, really nice. So I'm just passing that savings from the lab straight on to you when you choose to do that. And I'm just giving you that transformation cheat sheet today. So you can have that. Okay. And I'm going to give that to you in just a couple of minutes here. And also, anyone who purchases anything through us, any of our programs, you're also going to get 10% off of your supplements and personal care products for life. So this is through our full script catalog. And yeah, imagine how much money you can save if every time you need deodorant, you're going to get 10% off. And every time you need a supplement, or you need your vitamin D, or you need your, your fish oil or whatever, you're going to get 10% off. So that's your promise for life. When you come work with us, you'll always be attached to that full script catalog, and it'll just never go away. You can just save money forever. Okay. And my 100% money back promise to you is that, first of all, I am absolutely confident that I can find your root causes for you. You give me a little bit of time and a little bit of money for that testing, and I am going to find root causes for you. There has never been a person who has walked through our doors who we have not been able to find multiple root causes that then they can start taking action on and fix. So it's not like going to the doctor, doing a bunch of testing and finding nothing. That just doesn't happen with root cause medicine. Okay, you guys? So I make you that promise 100%. I'm also going to guarantee you that we have the knowledge here to be able to help you with the latest state-of-the-art protocols to help you to really totally transform your health. Okay, so we're the type of clinic that other functional doctors refer to because we deal with the worst of the worst. Okay, and so if we can fix them, we can probably fix you. And if we can't, I will let you know right up front, and maybe refer you to another one of my friends who might be able to, right? But we are here to help you. And once you start working with us, we're going to love you, we're going to care about you, and you're going to become part of the family, and you are never going to be alone in your health journey. We're going to take you by the hand and guide you step by step through this process, and it's going to be a really wonderful journey. It'll be the best thing that you ever did in your life. And so I hope that's a fair enough deal for you. That's the very best promise I can possibly make. And it's really true. So this total package that I've put together for you, it's worth well over $2,600. Oh my gosh, it's worth way more than that. And it's your root cause evaluation. It's your 30-day easy quick start program with your customized testing strategy. It's that brain fog, anxiety, and depression program, 10% off your customized lab package. Also, I'm giving you that transformation cheat sheet today, and you're going to get 10% off of your supplements and personal care products for life. And you're going to get all that for only $197 today. And so y'all can take a snapshot of the little, the little scanny doohickey. I don't even know what you call that thing. I don't know. What do you call that thing? Scanner thing. I don't know. Anyway, it's a real scanner thing. It really is. But if you can't take a picture, you can also put this into your browser. It's just the https:// with bit.ly/root-cause7. And it'll take you to this, right? So you'll know that you're on the right page because you'll have me and my video there, and it'll walk you through everything that I just told you that it includes. And then you can click the little green button and pay your money and book your call right away. And then within 24 hours, I've got an amazing team here. Kaylee or Garrett will be giving you a call, and they'll be getting your paperwork out to you and let you fill out there. And it's just going to be, the ball's going to start rolling right away, and you're going to be taken really good care of. And let me tell you about Lindsay before I give you your transformation cheat sheet and let you go today. Lindsay is an amazing client of ours. She has a really hard road because one of her root causes is Lyme disease. And it's one of the hardest things that we deal with because there's a lot of work that needs to be done. But Lindsay's a trooper. She's got 2 beautiful children. And she says Dory's been blessed with a tremendous gift from God as a medical detective. She's kind and compassionate, has always been there for me throughout my healing journey. And she says, God bless you, Dory. And we just love Lindsay because she's a trooper and she's doing such a good job and she's getting really good results. And this is Pam. And Pam says, Dory in her program gave me answers when I was told there were none. Dory gave me hope when I was told I was hopeless. And best of all, Dory gave me support when others walked away. And so this is the kind of love and care that you get here at our practice. And, I know that at this point, we can all agree on some things. We can agree that we know that if you've got symptoms right now, we know that they're concerning you. I know that you don't want to be limited by those symptoms. You want to be perfectly healthy. You don't want to be on the medications, or you don't want the doctor to give you more medications, right? And I know that you want real answers. I know that you want to know why this happened, right? And I taught you why today. And I can teach you more with some good test results, and we can get deep and personal, find those exact things that you need to work on. And then you can get your power back. Because I promise you that the truth about the latest science and precision root cause healthcare is the answer. It's the only answer we have right now. And thank God it really works, and it will work for you too. All righty. So if you have any questions, I'm going to open it up for questions for you now. And you are welcome to, if you haven't joined the live, you're welcome to click that link that I put in the comments. And you're welcome to join the live and ask questions. I've got a little bit of time here before I've got to run out of the office. And also feel free to go to our website if you want to do some more research and learn some more. Make sure you pick up my book. Oh my goodness, because there's, I haven't even put all that information on the website, right? It's all in the book. And so you want to learn a lot more about the latest science and all the many different things that you can do. I hope that you'll grab the book. And yeah, all right. So if anyone has any questions, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to get out of the share so that I can actually flip over and see the comments in the chat now. And let's see what we got here. Well, I can't see the name because it says iPhone, but it says, we've got nothing to lose and everything to gain. So grateful to be here. Way to go. Anyone showing up? Nice. Little by little becomes a lot. That's so true. There's a reason they say your health is your wealth. Oh boy. My main issue is achalasia or something like it. Yeah, if you're still here on the live, iPhone, whoever iPhone is, I would love to talk to you. And you can contact us at our office too. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my phone number. It's 760-460-4349. I'm going to put that in the comments here. So, 4349. There we go. So that everybody can, if you have questions or you had to leave and you're watching the, the video or whatever, please feel free to call our office and talk to Kaylee. Kaylee is amazing. You will love her. She also suffered from Lyme disease and a bunch of other root causes. And let's see what else we've got here. People saying awesome stuff. Love it. Deep and geeky. Nerd on. Woo! Yeah, I got my nerd on today. My brain be leaky. Laugh out loud. Yeah. Except it's not so funny when your brain is leaky, right? Kiss. Awesome breakdown. No pun intended. Preach it. Yeah, I tend to get my preach on. Yes, I do, because I love Jesus. I love what he's done for my life. And so, yeah, when you come work with us, you're going to see me getting my preach on quite a bit. That's for sure. Excellent presentation, wise words, wonderful. No excuses. Oh, it's a QR code. Yeah, I don't know what that thing is. I'm like, it's a scanner doohickey. I don't know what it is. And Amanda says, hi, Amanda. Amanda says, what about chronic inflammation to do chronic overactive trauma response? Are you talking about like the different DNRS or EMDR therapies, Amanda? And feel free, Amanda, you can unmute yourself and we can talk if you want.
So I was asking about the overactive trauma response and the stress responses to like childhood trauma, and your body only know how to be in the wrong fight or flight responses, and that causing the chronic inflammatory.
Yeah, it is part of the problem. Although, if you've looked up a lot of the research, a lot of the psychology research out there now, it's pretty amazing what we're learning. And we're learning about brain plasticity. And I know that's a really weird way to think, because you're thinking plastic in the brain. And no, it means that your brain is very changeable. And what they're learning is that your brain and your neurochemicals, basically, you can describe it like this. Your brain chemicals kind of travel down a river. Okay. So if you're a person who dealt with like a lot of stress and trauma growing up, and I understand because I was one of those persons, unfortunately, a lot of very severe stress and trauma in my childhood, very severe. And so, look, if I can do it, you can do it. We can all do this. Okay. Yeah, it takes some work, takes some knowledge, takes some time. But the basic principle is that if your brain and your body and your thoughts and your emotions are used to that fear trigger PTSD type response, okay, then that's the way they're kind of always going to go, because they've always gone that way. And so in your brain, it's kind of like this river. And the bigger the river, the faster the flow and the easier it goes down the negative path, right?
To being able to not get stuck in that pattern that our genes that you were talking about.
Yes, it's all part of this, right? You can literally, with practice, good EMDR therapy or DNRS therapy, you can literally learn how to change that river, so that instead of the river constantly going down that negative triggering path and creating the inflammation and negativity, you can teach your brain how to create a new river, a better river, a river that is more stabilizing, more positive, less triggering, right? And yeah, it takes work. It takes good work. And there are really good EMDR therapists out there. And if people don't know, who are listening, what EMDR is, it's a type of brain plasticity, new science psychotherapy, I guess you can call it. And it was actually created by DARPA, our government think tank, right? And they created it for these people who are in the war and they're coming home with horrible PTSD and, really severe traumas, right? And they can't help but get triggered by things because of the traumas that they've suffered. And they created this therapy, and man, it works. I've done EMDR therapy. My granddaughter has done it. It really does work. It's really amazing, and it's not that hard to do. And there are good EMDR therapists out there that can help you, and your insurance will actually pay for it a lot of the times, right? And so, if anyone is out there and you're suffering, right, get a good EMDR therapist. You might not find the right one the first time. You might have to try a couple of different therapists, but don't give up. Get yourself a good therapist that you can work with. And EMDR therapy literally only takes a few months, you guys. It's not like you have to stay in, clinical psychotherapy for, 5 years in order to fix your traumas. You know what I mean? EMDR is really an amazing therapy, and DNRS is very similar. Does that help?
Yes, it did. Thank you very much. I was just talking to my roommate that I actually just discovered the thought process on the EMDR, and especially coming from that long-term stress response, the trauma response from the childhood, trauma, and it boiling over into every aspect of my life. And, just talking about, making different decisions, better decisions, learning to relax, and just putting everything into perspective, and just starting and start with removing one thumbtack and then go to the next thumbtack.
Yeah. And remembering that it's a holistic process, right? Like if you're going to do EMDR therapy, also work with someone, like have a team of people to help get your total health back, right? Have an EMDR therapist, also have a good chiropractor who can help with the structural imbalances, right? Have a good scientist or a functional medicine doctor, or someone like me who can actually help you with your biochemical problems and your neurochemical problems and your gut problems, right? And so if you're doing all of it together, that's that whole 3 tacks in your butt story, right? Then it's not like, okay, like let me describe it to you like this. I remember when I was young, and I was that kid who, like I told you, lots of trauma, really severe trauma. And by the time I was 12 years old, I was having very severe panic attacks. Now, part of that was my gut health. It was a biochemical thing. Part of it was my genetics that, of course, I didn't know about until much later. So I didn't know how to take care of it until much later. Also, part of it was that whole trauma, PTSD, freak out thing, right? And so what I had to learn eventually is that you have to correct not only the gut health and the genetic portion of it, but then you also have to correct, when you're raised in that kind of an environment, there's some screwy stuff going on in there, and it's not
your own stinking thinking.
But it's not your fault. You're raised that way. Know any better. It's like your automatic environmental conditioning. But thank God that the Lord created us with these, brains and intelligence that we can learn how to do different thinking instead of thinking, right? What am I trying to say? Right? You know what I mean? And we can actually make a big difference. And, truth be known, I don't really suffer from anxiety attacks at all anymore because I've got most of this stuff all under control.
Right.
But like if I really wanted to, I could probably let myself have a panic attack if I wanted to. Because of my thinking, but I just refuse to now, right? I know better. So I'm not going to do that anymore. Yeah.
What area in?
I'm sorry?
Your location.
I'm in San Diego, California. Yeah. And our clinic is 100% virtual. So we help people all over the world.
Wow, that's awesome. Because I'm in North Carolina.
Yeah. God did it. I honestly, I can't take credit for it, really. I mean, he's done all of this. So I've got the blessing of, I get to be his conduit. You know what I mean? He gets to do this work and he gets to do it I get, the blessing of him just working this through me. Any intelligence or any knowledge I have all came from him. So he gets all the glory.
So everything's virtual. Can I just ask a couple of more questions? And then you gave us the number to call the office and talk to Kaylee.
Okay. Uh-huh.
And so then we just set up the appointments, talk about what happens after that.
Yeah, actually, you can go to that little link, that QR code, and it'll actually let you make the appointment. But if you want to do it through Kaylee and talk to her first, please feel free, right? She's there and she's, happy to give you a lot of love. And yeah, what's going to happen after you make your appointment is we're going to go to work. We're going to send you this questionnaire. I am so sorry, but it sounds like there's a pack of animals out in my kitchen. I don't know if you can hear that, but hey, you guys, be quiet. They know I'm in here on a live,
right?
They're just having fun. So they're going to send you a questionnaire to fill out. It'll probably take you about an hour to fill it out. It's, pretty comprehensive. Then you're going to have your appointment with me. We're going to sit down. We're going to go over that questionnaire, and we're going to have, a good hour and a little more to actually talk and get really deep about, all these things that you're dealing with. And from that questionnaire and from talking to you, I'm going to be able to come up with a really good strategy for your testing. And of course, make it as affordable as possible for you, help you to find a way to make it happen, right, financially. And then we get started on your testing. And within a few months, we get your test results back. And that is really super exciting because we always find your root causes. Always.
Yeah.
Yep. And then you're just empowered. You're ready to go, and then we can design a program for you and make it as cost effective as possible and get you working with us if you choose to. Right. Or you can take those test results and go somewhere else. But either way, at least you're empowered, you know what's going on. And right.
I really love what you said about the doctors medically gaslighting you when you know that it's something going on in your body and all of your tests are normal. It's not your thyroid. It's not your cortisol. It's not your steroid level, and you feel like crap. You can't sleep. You can't eat, or you eat too much and something's the matter, and you finally just make your mind up and put your foot down. This is not in my head. There's something really going on here.
It's not in your head. It is not in your head. Can I say that one more time?
One more time.
It is not in your head. You are an intelligent woman. Your body is communicating with you, and you are listening. And the doctor not being able to find it on an antiquated test, that's his or her frustration. That's not on you, okay? That's not on you. And so, coming here, that's not going to happen with us. I can guarantee you.
That's great. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait.
Well, that's exciting.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, but you're welcome. You're very welcome.
Anybody else got anything?
That's what I'm looking right now. I'm looking in the chat to see a lot of people like we had like 50 people sign up today, but then I know that a lot of people will watch the recording later on. So yeah, it looks like that's all the questions for today. If you have any more questions, I'm happy to stick on for another, 5-10 minutes and answer for you. Oh, you're on mute, Amanda. There you go.
Got it. I'm going to finish dinner, but I definitely will be in touch. I appreciate your time.
You're welcome. Well, I'll look forward to seeing you again soon, Amanda.
You too. Did you have any questions? No. Okay. Thank you. We're good.
All right. Bye. Take care. Bye-bye. I just want to remind everybody that if anybody has any questions, please feel free to call our office. I put the number in the chat, but I'll tell you the number again. It's 760-460-4349. And you can talk to Kaylee there. You will love her. Everybody loves talking to Kaylee. And if Kaylee's not available, then Garrett will be available, and everybody loves Garrett too. And so you guys are going to love our Rockstar team here. We are a small Christian mission and growing really fast and growing scary fast sometimes. And yeah, we're really excited to help you. And so if you're interested in working with us, or you just want to get started on learning your root causes, and you want to get started on learning how to to really literally get your health back and get amazingly better and live that life that God created you to live, then we're definitely here to help you. Don't forget to grab my book. You can just, rewind the video a little bit here and grab that little QR scanner doohickey thing. I kind of like calling it a scanner doohickey thing. I think that's kind of funny. I think I like that better than a QR code. Anyway, go back and grab that thing and go ahead and get the sale price on my book. And that just, every time I see that somebody bought a book, I'm just so excited because it's my first bộ. And of course I've written, plenty of scientific papers, but never a book, and never a book that's really going to make such an awesome difference in people's lives. So I'm really super excited about that. And I hope you'll go ahead and take advantage of that, or go ahead and take advantage of the root cause package that we're offering you today. And then I can meet you one-on-one and we can talk some more and really get you a step towards feeling amazingly better. All right. Well, I hear my family out in the kitchen being absolutely insane. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not, but they're out there making dinner and they're having fun and being happy. So I think I'm going to go out and join them. So I love you guys. I hope that you learned a whole lot today. And this will be up on our YouTube. If you just go to our YouTube at The Autoimmune Geek, and go ahead, actually, I can put that in the chat, because if I put that in the chat, then it'll pop up everywhere. So the YouTube is The Autoimmune Geek. That's me. And our website is truewellnesstoday.net. There's that. I already put the phone number up higher in the chat. So if you're looking for that, it's up there. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. I love to do these training sessions for you. And just go to the YouTube and click on the live tab. Okay. And that's where you'll find this video. It's also going to be on 3 different Facebook channels as well as our YouTube. And yeah, and also it's going to be, sent out to everyone who is registered as well. So you can watch this again. And I look forward to meeting you. I look forward to hopefully you getting the book. And yeah, and thank you again for watching, and God bless you. And, I really, whatever, I hope that I have at least given you a drop in the bucket today. I hope that I have at least planted a seed so that you know that you are not stuck in your health condition most of the time. Okay, there are always things that you can do to help yourself feel better than the way you feel now. And we're here to help you do that. All right. Love you guys. And I hope to meet you real soon. Okay. Bye-bye.